If we were to compare the cost of a Looseleaf textbook to an XYZ textbook, which would be the better buy for students? Now this table here shows the prices of a Looseleaf textbook in comparison to an XYZ textbook. It shows their new book price. It also shows the buyback amount given by the bookstore when the student sells that new book back. Then it shows the used book price and then the buyback amount for that used book. So looking at this first row, for a Looseleaf textbook, the new book price is $131. However, the bookstores are not going to buy back that new Looseleaf textbook. Therefore, there aren't any used books in the bookstore for students to buy, and no buyback refund for that used Looseleaf textbook. Now, if we were to look at the XYZ textbook, the new book price is $68, and the bookstore will buy it back. So the refund that the student will get is 50% of the original price, which is $34. So that's $34 in the student's pocket. Now, since they bought back these new books, the bookstore now has used XYZ textbooks to sell, and they sell it at a discounted price of $51. And then furthermore, the bookstore will buy back those used XYZ textbooks and will give 50% of the original used book price, which is $25.50. So when we compare these figures, we can see that the student will save if they purchase that XYZ textbook. So for the new book price, the student's going to save $63 over purchasing a Looseleaf textbook. Furthermore, they're going to save $97 on that buyback amount because we're taking into consideration the $34 coming from 50% of the original XYZ textbook price and the original savings when they first purchased the book. Now for a used book, the students, when they purchase an XYZ textbook, is going to save $80 because we're comparing the cost of an XYZ textbook that's used to the original price of a Looseleaf textbook. There are no used Looseleaf figures to compare those to. And then furthermore, the last column here for that buyback amount, the student's going to save $105.50 if they were to have purchased a used XYZ textbook, and that's comparing the original $25.50 that's in their pocket from that refund buyback amount, and then compared that to the original Looseleaf textbook. So these numbers are very impressive as is. Let's look at a little cost analysis that we did. If you take into consideration 500 students, and these 500 students bought all new XYZ textbooks, their total savings is going to be $48,000. Now, if these 500 students bought all used XYZ textbooks, their total savings when you compare it to purchasing a Looseleaf textbook is $52,250. Now, furthermore, if we were to take 1,000 students and half of those 1,000 students bought new XYZ textbooks and the other half bought used XYZ textbooks, their total savings over purchasing a Looseleaf textbook is going to be over $100,000. So that's more than $100 per student. So as you can see, these numbers are very impressive and show that students will save more money if they purchase an XYZ textbook over a Looseleaf textbook.